But first, because they're not going away soon enough, the headlines breaking in the administration's 50 running scandals. Bush. Number 3, the Wages of Sin Gate. Simon & Schuster has announced it has been chosen by the First Lady to publish her memoirs. No figure announced. One in the New York Post, which always leaves room for doubt, is an advance of $1,600,000 or a little higher. Now, that's a lot of money for a book, but not a lot of money for a book by a First Lady. Hillary Clinton got $8 million up front for her book. Nancy Reagan and Betty Ford each got about $2 million. Mrs. Bush's agent says 8 publishers expressed interest. He would not say whether or not any of them wanted to publish the book as fiction. Number 2, Accomplishment Gate. You will recall that at a lunch with 2 right-wing writers last week, Mr. Bush declared that his greatest domestic accomplishment was his disastrously failed attempt in 2005 to privatize Social Security. Well, that statement, my greatest success was this resounding failure, it was so goofy sounding that apparently even the president himself noticed. Now, in an interview with the columnist Cal Thomas, he was asked for his biggest do-over. Knowing everything you know now, what would you have done over again? The president responds, I probably, in retrospect, should have pushed immigration reform after the 2004 election and not Social Security reform. So he'd like to go back and not do the thing he claims was his greatest domestic accomplishment. 13 days, just 13 days. Keep him away from all the buttons for just 13 days. And number 1, Medal of Freedom Gate. The White House announcing that included in his last set of recipients will be the President of Colombia, Alvaro Uribe, and the former Prime Ministers of the UK, Tony Blair, and of Australia, John Howard. Mr. Bush has already given this Medal of Freedom to Paul Bremer, General Tommy Franks, General Richard Myers, George Tenet, and Norman Podhoretz. So basically, it's now become the award for recognizing those who helped screw up the country and lie us into an unnecessary war in Iraq. An exchange of dialogue between Martin Balsam as Colonel Cathcart and Orson Welles as General Dreedle from the Buck Henry Mike Nichols film Catch-22 comes to mind here. A bomber crew has just fouled up, and the general has to be talked out of having its members shot. If we can't shoot the bastards, Welles says, we can court-martial them, see that they rot in some stockade. Balsam, as the colonel, replies, we felt that a court-martial might get unavoidable publicity. If it got around that we used one of our missions to bomb the ocean... Welles interrupts him somberly. You don't have to say anything more, Colonel. Or to paraphrase Woody Allen, if you prefer him, I didn't know they gave medals for that kind of leadership, only earplugs or war crimes trials.